guided by a vision for a brighter tomorrow, and through it all, the flame still burns. The Free National Movement.
You told us that this election is extremely personal for you. The light bill, the grocery bill, the cost of health care, corruption at the highest level, the ease of doing business, crime, and the protection of our borders so that our children don't become strangers in their own country. So not voting is not an option. Your voice has been heard by the leaders of a new generation, and the Free National Movement will work for you.
From Bimini to Inagua, Freeport to Nassau Town. This is more than politics. This is the people's sound. Yeah. Hey. Oh. Election time again in the country. Who you voting for? COI, FNM or PLP? From Bimini North to Inagua down south, we going to the ballot box, we voting them out. We not looking for party hype. We want change how the country run. Someone must explain. No more false promises. Time to rearrange. Treat every person equal. Fair,
that one
just
matters
the same.
enormously.
This election
But the
we
decisions you are making right now, by being in this room, by watching from home, by leaning in instead of tuning out,
we standing strong.
you have decided that this country
when the righteous
is
rule,
worth fighting for.
Let truth and justice take everything. No more empty words. No more disguise. We lifting up the nation.
Good evening to every Bahamian watching from Grand Bahama, from the Family Islands, and from wherever in the world. Home still means the Bahamas. I am Safent Roll, your FNM candidate for Tall Pines. And it is my honor to welcome you to the launch of the Free National Movement's 2026 Manifesto. We work for you, not the few. What you will hear tonight is a contract, a serious, costed, accountable contract between the Free National Movement and every Bahamian who is ready for a government that truly works for them. We will hear from our candidates. We will hear about the Bahamas we can build together. But first, we begin the very serious way that we begin all endeavors in this country. We begin with gratitude, humility, and prayer. It is my honor to invite Bishop Gregory Minnis to offer our opening prayer.
Everybody. God and our Father, we have come tonight, a crucial time of our country. Come tonight to
We are
launch the
all
vision that
working
will make
to
this
get
country
ahead,
better.
working to better
Pray tonight
ourselves,
for our leader, Michael
working to
Clinton, and
ensure
his team. Pray tonight, God, that you will move by your power and by your anointing. This is a season, God, that we need true leadership. This is a season, God, that we need a fresh start with leaders in this country. And so, Father, tonight as we come to this place, We come in no other name but in the precious name of Jesus. We know, God, that we can't do nothing without you. And so tonight we ask you, God, to intervene, that every person who will watch tonight will recognize that there is a vision for this country to make it better. So, Father, in the name of Jesus tonight, order the steps of every candidate. God, may you bless their going out and their coming in. And whatever they do, God, I pray in the name of Jesus that they will commit themselves to work hard for the people. And so we remind this country tonight that this FNM, this new team, this new leadership will work for you. In Jesus' name, amen.
You will hear tonight from members of our team that are ready to work for you. Each of them will speak to a different dimension of what a government that truly works for the Bahamian people looks like in practice. We will speak to you honestly, directly, and from experience, because every commitment you will hear tonight came from listening, from living rooms and porches, from basketball courts to the beaches to the office lunchroom and kitchens across our islands, from the people who deserve better than what they have been given. 6 pillars, 1 contract. Our goal is to help our nation fulfill Vision 2040, our national development plan. Let us begin. Every Bahamian who has ever stretched a dollar further than it was meant to go, who has watched a business struggle, who has watched it struggle under a tax system designed to punish rather than to support, who has asked themselves why $1 billion more in government revenue somehow hasn't reached their road or their clinic or their island. This first section is for you. We begin with what matters most to families: the cost of living, the health of our businesses, and the economy that should be working for all of us. Please welcome to the stage your FNM candidates for East Grand Bahama, J. Kwesi Thompson, and Ellsworth Johnson, your FNM candidate for Yamacraw.
Good evening, Bahamas. 15 years. That is how long she has been running a small catering business out of her home. Wedding parties, corporate events, church socials, built from nothing but her own hands, her mother's recipes, and more early mornings than she can count. Last year, she came to me with her business license renewal. The Department of Inland Revenue had assessed her fees based on her gross revenue, not what she actually made after expenses, after suppliers, after the months when the events dried up. She didn't make a profit that year, but the government taxed her like she did. She looked at me and said, "I'm being punished for surviving." That is the economy this government built. One where the system is designed to squeeze the people at the bottom and protect the people at the top. Where a struggling small business pays taxes on money it never kept, where a young family can't afford to buy the home their parents owned, where the cost of living rises every year, and the people in power call that progress. That ends on May 12th. Here is what your FNM government will do instead. We will cut VAT to zero rated on everyday essentials, on electricity, medical costs, and education supplies. Because no Bahamian family should have to choose between groceries and the doctor. The money belongs in your pocket, and we are putting it back. Following the evidence from what has proven to work around the world, we will provide $200 a month to qualifying working parents during the first 2 years of their child's life. Because those 2 years are the most critical for the child's development and the most financially brutal for a young family. The funds will be paid to a partner organization and provided to the primary caregiver, whether you are a mother or a father, married or single. We will build 5,000 new homes seeded initially with $100 million from monies already resident in the current National Investment Fund. This initial equity injection will underwrite a dedicated housing investment vehicle within our new sovereign wealth fund. It will be coupled with private sector capital and expertise to build homes that are affordable, accessible, and built where they are needed most, including in those family island communities where housing shortages are most acute. We will use Crown land, Treasury land, and permit to acquire to reduce the cost of homes and the cost of rental properties being built or renovated for an affordable rent initiative. The dream of home ownership that your parents and grandparents lived must not become a luxury for this generation. We will replace the punishing business license tax with a net earnings-based system. If your business is not making a profit, you will not be taxed as if it is. And we will end the practice of demanding next year's fees in advance. For the woman I just described, and for the thousands of Bahamian business owners like her, that change alone is the difference between staying open and shutting down. We will recharge the My Gateway e-government platform into a true one-stop digital portal. Register your business, file your taxes, obtain approvals online in one place without running from office to office or submitting the same documents 3 times. We will also, and I want to say this one slowly, we will also introduce a taxpayer charter, a legally binding commitment that government agencies, including the Department of Inland Revenue, will treat you with fairness clarity, and respect. The heavy-handed tactics will stop. We will back Bahamian entrepreneurs with $100 million in capital over 5 years, including at least $10 million in direct grants, with dedicated funding for young entrepreneurs, family islanders, and those who have historically been left out of the economy. Not just the typical loans that can burden a young business, but with actual grants to be used productively to build and grow your businesses. Fixing what is broken for small business owners is where we begin. Building the economy this country deserves is where we go next. And I will ask my fellow candidate, Ellsworth Johnson, to speak to that. Thank you very much.
FNM! FNM! War time! War time! We will establish new free trade zones to attract investment in fintech, maritime logistics, and light manufacturing, designed to benefit Bahamian workers and entrepreneurs first, and to position our country as a regional hub for innovation and trade. We will expand high-speed internet connectivity across every island because in today's economy, digital access is economic access. Whether you are a student in Long Island, a small business owner in Bimini, Cat Island, or Andros, a creative in Nassau, you deserve the tools to compete and connect. Tourism remains the primary engine of our economy, but its full potential has never been realized. We will implement a long-term strategy targeting a 35% increase in stopover visitors, with major investment in ecotourism, health and wellness travel, and cultural and heritage tourism, especially in the Family Islands and in Grand Bahama. We will also make the Bahamas attractive for many tourists who arrive by small charter or personal planes. We will strengthen partnerships with airlines and international tour operators, and we will revise the foreign yacht charter regime to restore fairness and competitiveness. Standardizing and reducing taxes to the Bahamas, competitors again, and returning the yachting business that is being driven away by the PLP. We will bring new life to downtown Nassau. We will create a downtown authority in partnership with the Chamber of Commerce and the Downtown Nassau Partnership to drive investment and support Bahamian-owned businesses. We will encourage development of a residential competitive downtown. We will reinvigorate Bay Street through the Bay Street Promenade Way. We will launch the Orange District from Navy Line Road to Fort Charlotte, dedicated to Bahamian creatives, murals, museums, theaters, authentic eateries, and a 24/7 nightclub project. That makes downtown Nassau a place where our artisans, musicians, and entrepreneurs can actually thrive. And we will do all of this while managing your money responsibly with real targets, real timelines, and real accountability. The woman with the creative catering business, she told me that she had stopped believing in government
and stopped believing that anyone actually listened to her. But I see her here. But I say to her, we see her. That is who we are building this economy for, not for the few who have always had access, but for you. I say to you, FNMs, let's go again. FNMs! It's war time! War time! Yamacraw! War time!
Where them fans at? Where your flags at? Where your touch at? For the FNM, we work for you. And we got boots on the ground. FNM said, we work for you. But we need boots on the ground. To vote them out. We got work to do. We got.
Listen, security begins at the border and in our communities. But it must also reach into every corner of this nation, including the islands and communities that have too long been treated as afterthoughts on the map of our national agenda. Tonight, we say plainly and without qualification that a government that works for you means a government that works for all of you. Every island without exception. Please welcome to the stage the Deputy Leader of the Free National Movement, Shannon Dawn Cartwright, and your FNM candidate.
FNMs! FNMs! Please also welcome Senator Darren Henfield. So FNMs, he didn't ask about the economy. He didn't ask about tourism numbers or the deficit or any of the things we spend so much time debating in Parliament. He buried his neighbors. He watched young men he knew as boys become statistics. And when I sat across from him in a community that has been touched by violence more times than he can count, he looked at me and said something so simple, it stopped me cold. He said, I just want to be able to let my daughter walk to school. That is what safety means to most Bahamians. The simple, basic, human expectation that your child can move through the world without fail. After nearly 5 years in office, this government cannot give that father what he is asking for. Armed robberies are rising, and the Prime Minister declared victory on the same morning the Commissioner of Police confirmed it. The communities waiting for urban renewal are still waiting, and the immigration crisis has been met not with resolve, but with excuses. Your FNM government will do what this government has refused to do. We will make the Bahamas safer. And we will start at the border. So let's have a conversation about immigration and our policy platform, Operation Shield. Let me be clear about where we stand. We will continue to welcome lawful, necessary immigration, the kind that is transparent, well-regulated, and in the national interest. But we will not tolerate illegal entry in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. And we will not tolerate the corruption that has allowed illegal migration and trafficking to flourish within our own institutions. So our response, we will change the law. No person or persons who enters the Bahamas illegally will ever be eligible for Bahamian citizenship. Let me repeat that for Bahamians across the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. The next FNM administration, led by Michael Pintard, will change the law. No person who enters the Bahamas illegally will ever be eligible for Bahamian citizenship. We will launch Operation Shield, a 6-point plan to restore order and public trust. We will secure our land, auditing public and private land occupation, and removing unauthorized developments. We will heighten surveillance with stronger maritime enforcement, biometric tracking, and trained reservists stationed on every family island. We will investigate political abuse through a select committee of parliament and a permanent independent oversight board, because the corruption in this system did not happen by accident. We will end the unfairness, amending the Nationality and Immigration Acts, raising penalties and prosecuting those who have exploited the system for personal gain. We will limit approvals through rigorous vetting and enforce the renunciation of prior citizenship in every single naturalization case. No exceptions. And we will disclose data, publishing overdue migration reports and all related decisions so that the Bahamian people know exactly what is being done in their name. The audit will impact citizenship, permanent residency, and work permits. This is not just a crackdown, it is a cleanup. And it is a promise that under our government, no backdoor deal, no corrupt official, and no political interference will ever undermine the integrity of our immigration system again. But safety is not only about borders. It is about the streets we walk, the homes we live in, and the communities where we raise our children. We will implement a 10-point crime plan built on 4 foundations: prevention, enforcement, justice, and rehabilitation. On prevention, we will treat crime as a public health issue that it is. We will fund evidence-based programs focused on youth, drug addiction, and gang diversion, breaking the cycle before it starts. On enforcement, we will hire and retain more police officers, guided by a proper manpower audit to ensure that they are deployed where they are needed most, not where it is convenient. We will equip them with the vehicles, mobile units, and modern technology they need to respond effectively. And we will restore trust in law enforcement by amending and enforcing the Independent Commission of Investigations Act to root out misconduct and protect the good officers, the majority, who serve with honor. Senior leadership appointments in our security agencies will be merit-based. No more political handpicking. On administration of justice, we will clear the court backlogs that have let cases sit for years, expanding virtual hearings, digitizing case management, and building a modern forensic laboratory. We will strengthen specialized courts for gun crimes, drugs, and mental health. We will modernize the Firearms Act to address high-powered weapons and ghost guns. And we will reform the bail system so that high-risk individuals are not released onto the streets to reoffend before their case is even heard. On rehabilitation, we will expand rehabilitation programs with real job placements for low-security inmates. First-time youth offenders will be separated from hardened criminals and supported in genuine reintegration, because the goal is not just to punish, but to reclaim. And we will automatically expunge the records of those convicted only for small amounts of cannabis for personal use without requiring anyone to apply. Without bureaucratic hurdles, without conditions, because one mistake should not define a life. We will revive our communities, cleaning up neglected spaces, creating safe areas for families. We will restructure urban renewal to deliver real impact on the ground, not just in press releases. And we will establish the country's first standalone national fire department with modern equipment and trained personnel on our major islands to protect Bahamian lives and property with the professionalism this country deserves. Securing our borders and our streets is how we protect the Bahamas from the outside and from within. But there is a third front in this fight, and I'll ask my colleague, Senator Darren Henfield, to speak to it.
I feel the fire burning deep down in my soul. Now, I want to say something about safety that this government has never connected, even though every Bahamian instinctively, we understand it. A country that cannot feed itself cannot fully protect itself. That is why your FNM government will treat food security as a matter of national resilience, as essential to our safety as any border policy or crime plan. Lord willing, we will reduce our dependence on imported food. Our goal is to become self-sufficient in poultry meat and eggs within 2 years, because that is the kind of security cannot be taken from us by a shipping delay, a global price spike, or another crisis on the horizon. 2, we will empower Bahamian farmers with land, with tools, and with training. The kind of training that they need to thrive in making our land available through leases and crown grants, and establishing, hear this, 6 agro villages across different islands of our archipelago. We want to create agricultural entrepreneurship. That's what we want to do. 3, we will invest in modern equipment through affordable financing and school-based agriculture and agriculture programs to inspire the generation that comes after us. We will require that 40% of food served by hotels, restaurants, and grocery stores be sourced locally. Let me say that again for emphasis. We will require that 40% of food served by hotels, restaurants, and grocery stores in this country be sourced locally where available. And hear this, that 70% of government food spending supports Bahamian producers first. That is the Buy Bahamian policy, and we will enforce it. We will create a network of community pantries and gardens island-wide so that fresh, locally grown produce is accessible to every Bahamian community, while creating local jobs and reducing hunger. Amen. This is just not about economics. It is about sovereignty. It is about sustainability. And it is about ensuring that the next generation of Bahamians inherit a country that can stand on its own. I think about the father that the deputy leader spoke about a moment ago. Every commitment we have just made and described, every border secured, every police officer properly equipped, every young person diverted from a path of violence, every Bahamian farmer empowered to feed their community was written with him in mind, with his daughter in mind. That is who we are building a safer Bahamas for. Thank you.
The foundation of any nation is its people. And a people who feel safe are a people who can build. From the economy to the streets we walk and the borders that protect us, safety is not an abstract concept in this country. For too many Bahamians, it is a daily calculation. A parent deciding whether to let their child walk to school. A community watching a neighborhood they love change in ways they never consented to. A nation that deserves and has not received the leadership that this moment demands. What you are about to hear is a plan, not a promise. A plan with specifics, with accountability, and with the resolve that the people of this country have been waiting for. Please welcome to the stage the following persons. Your FNM candidate for Central Grand Bahama, Fraser Gibson. And your FNM candidate for Angliston, Heather MacDonald.
FNMs! To those of you in attendance here, viewers in my beloved Grand Bahama, our other family islands, New Providence, and Bahamians everywhere, good evening. Good evening. The nearest bank branch closed 2 years ago. The approval he needed from Nassau had been sitting somewhere in the government office for months. He had a business idea, a real one, well thought out, practical. He had done his research. He knew what he needed to get started. I was sitting with him on a family island. I won't say which one because his story belongs to too many places at once. And when I asked him what he was going to do, he was quiet for a moment. Then he said, I'm probably going to leave. Not because I want to, but because it feels like this country only works if you live in the right place. That stayed with me because he is not alone. In Grand Bahama, residents have watched their airport stall, their island be treated as an afterthought, and their port, where people who actually lived and work, is not meaningful or accountable. Across the family islands, banks have closed, infrastructure has been deferred, and communities with extraordinary potential have been handed promises on a 4-year election cycle and then told to wait again. This is not what a nation of 700 islands should look like. When we say an inclusive Bahamas, we mean something very specific. We mean that every island matters. Every community matters. And the days of governing this country as if it begins and ends on New Providence are over. Let me tell you what we will do starting with Grand Bahama. Grand Bahama has the location, the infrastructure, the talent, and the history to lead. What it has been missing is a government willing to act on that potential. We will redevelop the Grand Bahama Airport and negotiate the return of the U.S. pre-clearance, because that is not just a convenience. It is a key that unlocks tourism, investment, and jobs opportunities. During our term, we will broaden the leadership in the Grand Bahama Port Authority to ensure that regulators are more accountable to licensees. Our goal is to broaden the Bahamian participation in the Port Authority overall. We will require that the Grand Bahama Port Authority to meet its obligation, and we will mandate meaningful Freeport licensees' participation in the decision-making of the port area. The people of Freeport built that city. They deserve a genuine seat at the table in how it is run. We will establish a world-class industrial park focused on maritime, logistics, and technology anchored by the Grand Bahama Shipyard, one of the largest ship repair facilities in the world, as the nucleus of a wider industrial ecosystem. We will launch a Grand Bahama Creative Arts District and film production incentive program, because diversification means more than industry. It means creating space for the musicians, the filmmakers, the designers, the young creatives who have the talent to put Grand Bahama on a cultural map that goes far beyond its shores. And we will establish Grand Bahama as a global yachting hub. We will establish with marine aquaculture zones. Grand Bahama, surrounded by world-class waters, have never been fully leveraged. That changes under the FNM. Grand Bahama will rise, and every family island will rise with it. My colleague, Heather McDonald, will speak now to the communities that have been waiting the longest.
Thank you, Frazette. The FNM will bring back real banking services to every major family island, including community-owned credit unions, because a community that cannot access its money cannot grow. No Bahamian should have to travel to New Providence to deposit a check or apply for a small business loan. Family islands deserve full financial services, just as people in New Providence and Grand Bahama. The FNM is committed to preserving and creating new jobs, and we will transform the post office into a logistic and distribution hub for the digital economy, helping our family island entrepreneurs get their goods to regional and global markets, creating new revenue streams and building a sustainable future for their institutions. We will create expanded tax-free economic zones across our family islands, tailored to each island's natural strengths, whether it's agriculture, marine industries, ecotourism, or something specific that community culture and geography. With tax incentives and streamlined approvals, these zones will attract investments, create jobs that belong to people who live there. We will build homes where they are needed most, including our family islands communities, where the housing crisis is just as acute as it is in Nassau, even if the cameras don't show it as often. We will empower local government to get things done without having to wait for Nassau's permission. Each island will have access to the Family Islands Development Fund that was supposedly set up by the current administration but never brought into effect. This will provide a direct capital budget for the small projects and infrastructure upgrades, because people who know their community needs are the ones who live in it. We will mandate that every family island development has a strategic economic plan supported by the Economic Council, made up of qualified Bahamian professionals, so that development is driven by a real vision, not by which way the political wind is blowing before
Every
an
artist
election.
remembers the moment something inside.
And we will create a legal framework to allow beneficiaries of commonage land to use it for housing and development. There are families across this country sitting on land that has been legally tied up for generations. Land that could be building wealth, building homes, building futures. We will unlock it. When I think about that young man who told Frazette he was thinking about leaving, not because he wanted to, because he felt that the country only worked if you lived in the right place. I think about what we are building and who we are building it for. It's for him. It's for every Grand Bahamian. And it's for every family islander who has had to leave their island to access services that Nassau took for granted. An inclusive Bahamas is a commitment that the next government of this country will govern all of it. Every island, every community, every Bahamian. And that is exactly what we intend to do.
You gotta fire them. Got to fire them. You gotta fire them. Got to fire them. You gotta fire them. Got to fire them. I like when you handle things at home. Play a position. Take care of your children.
Every Bahamian who has ever dealt with this government has had to ask themselves at some point, do the rules apply to everyone the same way? We all know the answer, and we are all tired of it. Fairness is not just a value, it is a system. It is laws enforced equally. It is contracts paid promptly. It is information made available to the public. It is the most vulnerable among us protected, not as a political gesture, but as a governing commitment. Please welcome to the stage the following FNM candidates. For Exuma and Ragged Island, your candidate, Deborah Moxie Roll. And your FNM candidate for Golden Isles, Brian Brown.
You gotta fire them. Got to fire them. You gotta fire them. Got to fire them. You gotta fire them.
of Islands, good evening. Tonight we've come to show the people them what good governance is. It's about respect and integrity and no more lies. His calls went unanswered. His follow-up letters disappeared into some office. His suppliers still expected to be paid. His staff still expected their wages. He waited months and then more than a year. He did work for the government. He showed up, delivered, and invoiced correctly. He came to me angry and exhausted, and he said something I've not been able to shake. The rules don't apply to them the same way they apply to me. And you know what? He's right. And every Bahamian who has ever tried to deal with this government, as a vendor, as a citizen, as someone who just wanted a straight answer about where the public money went, knows exactly what he means. Over $400 million in no-bid contracts, 9 years since the Freedom of Information Act was passed, and a prime minister who calls it esoteric while his government hides what it spends. State-owned enterprises receiving hundreds of millions of dollars every year. BPL, Bahamas Air, NIB, the Water and Sewage Corporation, and simply not publishing the legally required audits on how your money was used. Boards stuffed with political loyalists making politically motivated decisions. Oversight that exists on paper and nowhere else. But I'm here to tell you tonight that this ends with this election. Here is what your FNM government will do. We will establish a comprehensive anti-corruption regime with real teeth that bite. New legislation, a public officials code of conduct, and an independent anti-corruption commission with the power to investigate anyone, including ministers, without political interference. Politicians will be individually responsible for non-disclosure, for their disclosures, with real sanctions for non-compliance. No more hiding behind the process. We will fully implement the Freedom of Information Act within our first year in office. Beginning with a rollout within the first 90 days. Because a government that hides what it does is a government that has something to hide. Bahamians will be able to see the contracts, the decisions, and the spending that has been kept from them. Not eventually, promptly. We will strengthen whistleblower protections, a single secure hotline across all government activities, and legal safeguards so that those who speak up can do so without fear of losing their livelihoods or their safety. We will place the Auditor General's office under the supervision of Parliament, not the executive. An auditor who answers to the people being audited is not an auditor. That changes on day one. We will require all state-owned enterprises to publish quarterly financial statements and publicly explain any delays in their audits. Board chairs and executive managers who fail to comply will face administrative sanctions. No politically appointed board member or minister will be able to pause or hold up the release of these financial reports. No more hundreds of millions of dollars disappearing into silence. Not at BPL, not at Bahamas Air, not at NIB, not anywhere. We will introduce greater independence among board members to these state-owned enterprises by seeking advice from civil society and the Bahamian business community, in addition to those who are presently appointed by the minister or prime minister. The era of publicly partisan boards overseeing public assets is over. These independent board members will bring greater scrutiny to the affairs of these public entities. We will enforce public procurement law in full. Every government contract will be published online and in the newspapers. Every exemption explained in writing in accordance with the law. Contracts awarded by government corporations, authorities, and commissions held to the same standard. The law already requires this. We will simply, finally follow it. Accountability in government is where fairness begins. My colleague Brian Brown will speak to where it reaches next, into the lives of every Bahamian who deserves to be seen and protected.
FNMs. FNMs. No, you all ain't sound like you're ready to govern. FNMs. You all ready to rip up the PLP? No, you all ain't sound like you all ready to rip up. For their bad governance, you're going to rip whop them, right? Well, Golden Eyes is ready to rip whop them. South Beach ready? Foxhill ready? Carmichael ready? Even Abaco ready. We're going to whip. Eleuthera tell me they're ready. They've been bad in governance, and we're going to fire them. On May 12th, we're going to fire them. Fire Chester Cooper. Fire Brave Davis. Boy, you all better. I'm hot for them. I'm hot for them. Fire Fred Mitchell. Fire Wade Watson. Fire them. They're being bad for this country. They're being bad for this country. They're being bad for Golden Eyes. Fire them. Let me get to what we can do with them. May 12th is almost here. Tell them park them cars. Tell them park them cars. Park them. Leslie Miller tell them buy one little boogie. Park it side the corner. Because on election day, they will not be driving the government car. Now I want to make a shift of a moment. Because fairness is not only about money and contracts. It's about dignity. It's about how we treat the most vulnerable among us. And on this, I want to speak plainly without any political calculation. We will establish an adult day activity center for Bahamians with disabilities. With disabilities. Providing structured care with therapies and caregivers who show up every single day with every support from the state. These centers will be in New Providence and across select family islands, run in partnership with trusted community. Because a society that makes promises to the most vulnerable and then leaves them without service has not earned the word fair. We will modernize the Matrimonial Clause Act and rules to bring dignity to parties seeking to get divorced and the process of custody for children, maintenance, properties, and other assets. Parties involved in contesting divorce should not be required to give evidence in an open court. We, under Michael Pintard as the Prime Minister, will ensure that safe shelter exists for women and children fleeing from violence. Because no one should be forced to choose between staying in danger and facing the streets. Every Bahamian who needs protection deserve to find it. This FNM government will find it for them. That is not aspirational. It's the basic duty of a government that claims the work of its people. Now the vendor that my friend Deborah talked about told you about the one who did his work. He followed the rules, waited more than a year to be treated the same way the well-connected are. His frustration is not unique. It's his frustration is of every Bahamian. This every Bahamian frustration who has been told that the rules apply to everyone. While watching them apply, every different depending on who you know. Them brothers is only dependent. You only get paid for your contract if you know somebody in place. Fair Bahamas means the rules mean the same thing for everyone. That contract. You owed the contract where they leave that owed, we gonna pay them, baby. That's the information you asked for. Get disclosed. That the people in power are held to the same standard they claim to hold you to. The Bahamas is not a dream. As I leave you, the Bahamas is not a dream. We are ready on day one. We are ready on day one, baby. On day one, baby. On day one, baby. Ready on day one. Ready on day one. Ready on day one. And we'll build a Bahamas. We will build a Bahamas. We will work for you.
Where them fans at? Wait a minute now. Where your flags at? Where your touch at? For the FNM, we work for you. And we got boots on the ground. That's what I'm saying. We work for you. But we need boots on the ground. To vote them out, we got work to do. We got to
Woo! It's hot up here. Woo! Listen. Listen. Before I introduce our next speaker, I want to acknowledge something. There are nurses and doctors. They're watching tonight. And they have kept our health system alive, almost entirely through personal sacrifice. They've shown up in conditions no professional should have to work in. They've gone the extra mile. They have done extraordinary things with inadequate resources. And who have done it because they love this country and the people in it. This section is for them. And for every Bahamian family that has had to sit in a waiting room and wondered if help was coming. Please welcome to the stage our chairman of the Free National Movement, Dr. Dwayne Sands, and our candidate for Long Island, Dr. Andre Rollins.
Good evening. I bring you greetings from lovely Long Island. From Seymour's in the north to Gordon's in the south, and everywhere in between. We are one island. We are united. And we will represent Long Island the way Long Island needs to be represented. And just in case anybody wondered, Long Island will be staying FNM. And I say that because, like Ellsworth Johnson said, politically, yes, it's wartime. We have an election to win, and we will win. I'm here to talk tonight, ladies and gentlemen, about a story that's on the lips of Bahamians across the length and breadth of this country. A subject that is particularly near and dear to the people of Long Island, the people I hope to represent, and God willing, I will represent, as of May 12th. We've heard horror stories from our nurses, doctors, and healthcare workers, all who continue to help patients without the resources, equipment, and money they deserve. I recently spoke to a nurse who shared a story with me. She is one of the many neglected nurses. She still shows up, even on the days the air conditioning isn't working. Even on the days when the supply room is empty and she has to tell a patient they need to go buy their own medication from a pharmacy before she can treat them. This is real talk, ladies and gentlemen. Even after double shifts in an understaffed ward, knowing that tomorrow will look exactly the same. Nicholas Fox in Fox Hill can tell you of which I speak. She has worked in the public health system for over 2 decades. She loves this country. She loves her patients. I asked her what she needed most. She didn't hesitate. She said, I need someone to fix things that have been broken for years. Not announce a new building. Fix what we have. 4 out of 5 Bahamian doctors, that's 80%, have said publicly that existing hospital upgrades are what the system needs. Not press releases, not ribbon cuttings. Functional equipment, adequate staffing, basic dignity for patients and for the people who care for them. This government's answer, that is the PLP's answer, has been to delay and borrow, while the emergency room, and you've heard all the horror stories, misses deadline after deadline, while nurses work in conditions that would not be acceptable in any country that respects its healthcare workers. And while families are told there is no blood available, no medication in stock, no appointment available for months. The nurse I spoke to has not given up on this country. Neither have we. And when we are in government, after May 12th, we will not give up on her. Here is what we will do. We will hire 100 new doctors and 200 new nurses and place them where they are needed most, not where it is politically convenient. We will reinvest in nursing through better pay, housing support, professional development, and a clear career pathway, because we cannot keep asking extraordinary people to survive on ordinary recognition. And I want to take this opportunity to publicly thank the Free National Movement's Platform Committee for recognizing the importance of our nurses to our healthcare system, for recognizing that our neglected nurses need this much-needed support. For too long, they have been underappreciated while being chronically overworked. We will redevelop the Princess Margaret Hospital, ladies and gentlemen, on its existing campus and upgrade the Rand Memorial Hospital in Grand Bahama, delivering on a promise that has been made and broken for far too long. We will also invest $50 million immediately into the urgent upgrades of our healthcare infrastructure and equipment, recognizing that we cannot wait until we have brand new hospitals and clinics, given what Bahamians now have to endure. Patients should not have to lie in rooms where basic supplies are absent, where equipment does not work properly, where the roof leaks and the air conditioning is broken. We have PLP pundits who live this story, and yet they are still supporting a minister of health who has sat by and done nothing. And they know who they are. As those urgent refurbishments advance, we will begin to roll out in the Family Islands the AI diagnostics and telemedicine facilities to radically expand access to specialist services across all islands, because quality care should not be a privilege that stops at Nassau's shoreline. We will expand the National Health Insurance Program to cover catastrophic care, including cancer treatment, and continue the journey toward universal health coverage. No Bahamian should have to choose between their health and their savings. No family should be bankrupted by illness. That is not a political position. That is a moral one. We will shift to a preventative model of care because chronic diseases like diabetes and heart disease are taking far too many Bahamian lives too soon, and treating them after the fact costs infinitely more than catching them early. We will increase screenings, expand community outreach, and invest in healthier lifestyles at the population level. I've spoken about what we must fix immediately, but the man standing to my right is someone I respect tremendously. My colleague, Dr. Dwayne Sands, who has spent a career inside this system, will speak to how we build what comes next.
Good evening. Let us thank the incoming Member of Parliament for Long Island for introducing. I don't intend to speak very long tonight, but before I do, let me look over to the people that come in, not from the south of the Bahamas, but from the south of New Providence, the people from Bamboo Town. Dr. Rollins introduced our initial priorities, but your FNM government will invest in the future of medicine with AI diagnostics, genomics, and access to groundbreaking treatments so that Bahamians can benefit from the same type of innovative treatments that are available in leading countries around the world. We will finally establish a true national blood bank. And we will deploy mobile donation units across the islands so that we can put an end to this chronic shortage of blood that have put lives at risk. And we will build the auxiliary infrastructure that this system desperately needs. I'm speaking about a standalone morgue, a national coroner's facility. And we are going to modernize the funeral homes by introducing a regulatory framework. And we're going to introduce legislation to accomplish this. Now, I want to talk about something that doesn't always make it into political speeches. But it needs to be said clearly and without flinching. Suicides in this country have doubled in recent years. 1 in 5, 20% of Bahamians between the ages of 13 and 18 have reportedly contemplated taking their own life. 1 in 5. Now this, ladies and gentlemen, is a crisis. And it has been met with silence from the people in power. Your FNM government will deploy mental health professionals in all major community clinics across the Bahamas, making preventative mental health care a standard, accessible service. We will introduce mental health first aid training in every public secondary school so that at least one staff member in every building is equipped to intervene early to help a young person in crisis. We will pilot digital mental health services in hard-to-reach areas, including the Family Islands, to extend support to Bahamians who cannot access in-person services. And we will incentivize the recruitment and retention of mental health professionals with targeted benefits for those who specialize in this field and who commit to serving in the public health system. We will also ensure that dental care is not a luxury. We will fully implement the Dental Professions Bill. We will modernize dental regulations, and we will work with the profession to ensure that there are sufficient dental professionals providing coverage in every area of this country. You know, because a toothache should not be something only some Bahamians can afford to treat. We will pay our medical bills to all vendors on time. You know that nurse Dr. Rollins told you about? Dino statistic. She is the heartbeat of our public health system, and she deserves a government that treats her that way. Every doctor we hire, every young person we reach before they fall through the cracks, every family we protect from being bankrupt by a diagnosis, that is who we are building a healthier Bahamas for. Not for some, for all. Thank you very much.
I want you to think for a moment about the young Bahamians in your life. A niece, a son, a student you mentor, a young person in your community whose talent is unmistakable and whose patience with this country is quietly running out. This final section is a message to every one of them. It is a message that says, we see you, we need you, and we are building something worth staying for. Please welcome to the stage your FNM candidates. For Fort Charlotte, Travis Robinson. For North Andros, Janice Oliver. And for Bain and Grantstown, Jay Philippe.
FNMs, when I say fire it up, you say ready to go. Fire it up. Fire it up. When I say no surrender, you say no retreat. No surrender. No surrender. FNMs, make some noise. We are going to fire them from the hilltop to the valley. From the hilltop to the valley. We are going to fire them from Inagua in the south to Abaco in the north. Fire them. There's a nursery rhyme that says, Humpty Dumpty sat on the wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great big fall, and all the king horses and all the king men couldn't put Humpty Dumpty together. FNMs, I believe that on May 12th, this PLP government will sit on that same wall. This PLP government will have a big fall, and all the PLP horses and all the PLP men won't be able to put the PLP back together again.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the regular routine. I love this country, but I don't think this place has decided it loves me back yet. Those words belong to a young Bahamian woman who understands the gap between talent and opportunity better than any policy paper I have ever read. Talent is everywhere in this country, and I have never doubted that for a moment. What is not everywhere is the opportunity to match that talent. She is 23 years old, a musician, extraordinary, and quietly, almost apologetically, she is making plans to leave. Not because she wants to. When I asked her why, she didn't talk about opportunities abroad. She talked about what's missing here in the Bahamas. No sustainable path for a young Bahamian creative to build a career at home. No infrastructure that takes her seriously as an economic contributor. A country that will applaud her at a festival and then offer her nothing the next morning. She is not alone, ladies and gentlemen. Across this country, in classrooms and studios, on family islands and in Nassau neighborhoods, there are young Bahamians with extraordinary talent, drive, potential, who are quietly making the same calculation. Staying means struggling against a system that was never designed for them to succeed. And leaving means giving up the only home that they know and they love. This government has had nearly 5 years to change that calculation. And youth unemployment is still a crisis. Investment in creative industries has been piecemeal and political. Apprenticeships remain a promise on paper. And our schools, despite all the grandiose announcements, still have children finishing primary school who cannot read at grade level. This FNM party refused to accept that because the next generation must stay. And it is our job to give them a reason to stay. So, ladies and gentlemen, Bahamians everywhere, here's what your Free National Movement government will do. We will expand universal free preschool so that every Bahamian child, regardless of where they are born or what their families can afford, start school with a strong foundation. Because we know those early years matter more than any other investment we can make. And we will treat them that way. We will make it a national mission that every child can read, write, and do the basic math by the end of primary school. We believe that literacy and numeracy are rights and not privileges, and we will hold ourselves accountable publicly for delivering on them. We will launch a day one curriculum transformation, modernizing what we teach and how we teach it. Bahamian history, civic responsibility, and cultural pride will be at the heart of our classrooms. Because our children should know who they are, where they come from, and what they are capable of before the world tells them otherwise. And we will phase in a school transport system in New Providence, starting with free public bus rides for all uniformed students on school days. We will engage every stakeholder, parents, educators, law enforcement, transport providers, and the students themselves to make sure that safety, security, and reliability are assured as we roll out this program. The foundation is in the classroom, but not every road to opportunity runs through a university. My colleague, Janice Oliver, will speak to where we go from here.
FNMs, FNMs. When I say more, you say fire. More, 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 more. Yeah, y'all ready, y'all ready, y'all ready? All right. Not every road to success runs through a university, and every skill deserves respect. We will expand vocational and technical education in our schools and through structured partnerships with BTVI and industry so that a young Bahamian who wants to build, fix, grow, sail, or code has a clear and credible pathway to a career. We will enforce the Apprenticeship Act and create structured, paid apprenticeships in key sectors, including marine services, agriculture, tourism, and finance. Real work experience, real mentorship, real credentials. Now, let me talk about what this country owes to its artists, its musicians, its dancers, its filmmakers, its designers, its junkaneurs. Our $100 million investment in Bahamian entrepreneurs will have specific funding envelopes dedicated to Bahamian cultural entrepreneurs. In addition to the substantial grants and concessionary loans, we will provide tax incentives and training because the orange economy is not a sideshow. It is one of the most powerful economic and identity building forces this nation has, and it has been chronically underfunded, undervalued, and over-politicized for far too long. We will support the recently creative and performing arts school of the Bahamas, a dedicated institution that tells every young Bahamian creative that their gift is worth training seriously. And we will renew the National Performing Arts Center as a world-class showcase of what our talent looks like when it is given a real stage. We will fund the construction of state-of-the-art Junkanoo shacks with creation spaces, performance areas, recording studios, cafes, and retail outlets, so that Junkanooers can turn their passion into sustainable year-round careers. Not just Boxing Day, not just New Year's Day, all year round. And we will protect the independence of Junkanoo from political interference permanently. This tradition belongs to no government. It belongs to no party, and definitely no politician. It belongs to the Bahamian people, especially those who have built it, sustained it, and protected it for generations. Under our government, that will not change. From the studio to the playing field, my fellow candidate, Jay Philippe, will speak to the investment we are making in every community across this country.
FNM! FNM! FNM!
We will get better under the leadership of Michael C. Pintard and the Free National Movement. May 12th, this country will be heading in a different direction. Ladies and gentlemen, we will invest in sports infrastructure across every single island, refurbishing the Queen Elizabeth Sports Complex and building new facilities in the Family Islands where young people currently have no dedicated space to train. I've been there before. I understand that as an athlete and as a former coach. We will transform the subvention system for junior and elite athletes, a high performance pathway for our athletes with consistent funding, professional coaching, and international exposure, because Bahamian talent has repeatedly proved itself on the world stage. Not just in the Bahamas, not in the region, but on the world stage, we have consistently performed. And it deserves a system at home that matches its ambition. And we will expand access to community sports programs and facilities in every neighborhood. We will keep young people engaged, healthy, connected, and proud of where they come from. The young woman that Travis told you about at the beginning, the one who said she wasn't sure this country had dedicated its love her back. She deserves a different answer, Travis. Every classroom will transform. Every apprenticeship will fund. Every junk canoe shack we build. Every creative we back with real capital. That is the answer. The FNM has decided we love you. We need you. We are building a Bahamas that is finally worth staying for. So it ain't long now. It ain't long now. We deserve better leadership. We will get better leadership. It ain't long now, FNMs. It ain't long now. Thank you.
So long, bye-bye. So long, bye-bye. Come on, y'all, help me say it. Goodbye to my pain and my sorrow. So long. So long, bye-bye. Y'all catch it, everybody. Come on, say it. So long, bye-bye. Everybody in the building, raise up, say it. So long, bye-bye. Goodbye to my pain and my sorrow. Goodbye to my pain and my sorrow. Let's go. So long, bye-bye. One more time, everybody in the building, say so long. So long, bye-bye. Hey, come on. So long, bye-bye. Goodbye to my pain.
As I look around this room, it's a good mix. Young people, not so young people, but a fired up people tonight. What you have heard tonight is not a collection of aspirations. It is a contract, specific, costed, and accountable. A contract that says, this is what we will do. This is how we will pay for it. And this is how you can hold us to it. There is one person who has spent the last 4.5 years listening to the stories behind every one of these commitments. One person who began this process not with a policy platform, but with a question. The question was, what do you need? it is now my profound honor to welcome to the stage the leader of the Free National Movement, the Member of Parliament for Marco City, and the next Prime Minister of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, the Honorable Michael Clifton Pinchon.
I'm pressing on the upward way, new heights I'm gaining every day, still praying as I onward bound. Lord, plant my feet all around. Lord, lift me up and let me stand. My faith on heaven's tableland. No higher place that I have found. Let me, Lord, plant my feet all around. Lord, lift me up. Let me stand. Let me stand.
It is so good to see all of you tonight. My fellow Bahamians, I want to begin tonight by letting you know that we have listened actively and intently to your concerns. We've heard your aspirations. I love you back. I've sat in living rooms in Nassau, on porches, in the family islands, in kitchens in Grand Bahama. And in every one of those conversations, I heard the same thing. Underneath the words was quiet exhaustion, a feeling that no matter who wins, nothing really changes. I know there are people in this room, even tonight, even though hope has sprung up inside you, you're just hoping that it's different. Many of you want better and have come here. Nevertheless, sometimes people come with their arms folded, just waiting, anticipating. People who've heard it all before. People who are tired of the election season promises that disappear the morning after election. I want you to know that all of our candidates, we hear you. I hear you. And I refuse to accept that this is the best that the Bahamas can be. I say it because that quiet sense that it doesn't matter is exactly what the people who've been misusing your money are counting on. Your silence is their protection. So tonight, I'm not here to make you feel good about politics. I'm here to offer you a commitment. And then I'm going to tell you exactly how we are going as a team to keep that commitment. Here's a number I want you to remember. Since 2021, the government revenue has increased by more than $1 billion per year. Now, let me ask you a question. Do your roads feel like $1 billion have been spent? Does the emergency room that has patients waiting in the hall for hours feel that way? Do the nurses who work double shifts and couldn't get paid on time? Do the vendors who are still waiting for money owed to them by a government that calls itself fiscally responsible? Over $400 million in no-bid contract awards have been given, mostly to friends. Some qualified and some tens of millions spent on consultants, lavish travel, luxury vehicles, private jets, and cocktail parties and receptions. All the while our hospitals are crumbling. All the while Bahamians are again making plans to leave because it's hard staying.
All the while, families are choosing between the doctor bill or the grocery. All the while, public servants and small vendors went unpaid for services delivered sometimes months ago, sometimes years. The question was never whether we can afford to do better for the Bahamian people. The question was whether the people in office were willing to do better. I want you to know tonight, all of our candidates, they are willing to work for you. And by the grace of God, with your help, they will work for you. Their new round of promises, this government, they fall flat. And we know that they are unserious. Think about this for a moment. You gave them a contract for 5 years. They have 5 more months left on that contract. And they walked off the job, only to come back immediately to ask you to hire them for 5 more. If they were serious about you, about the commitments they just made during their launch, couldn't they call just another parliament in order to pass the draconian measures they said they would inflict for violating immigration laws? They could have come back to parliament. They could have come back to deal with the new crime measures, with the new plans for prosperity. But they didn't, because they running a game. They asked the question, how will we pay for these incredible and innovative proposals? At least they recognized that we have some innovative and creative programs. But I know that many of you know that we have taken the time to measure exactly how we are going to afford these proposals. And so how will we pay for each of the policy positions that we have unveiled? Let me answer plainly. We are not like the other side. We take governance seriously. We take your money seriously. That is why we've done the work. We have costed the proposals. We have looked at the numbers. We know how we will make it work for you. Our pledge to provide $200 per month in child support to a newborn of qualifying parents, could be male or female, married or single. We've costed it. It will cost us about $12 million per year. $100 per week stipend for young people who are engaged in vocational training. We took the time to cost it $7 million roughly. I did some arithmetic, but I was decent in math. I believe that's $19 million. Think about this. Less than 1/3 of what the current government has spent on consultants alone. We will make it work. We will phase in our commitments responsibly. Every program will be properly costed. Every major initiative rolled out in stages with input from stakeholders, with clear timelines, and with full transparency. We will report to you on our progress, not with PR stunts, but with real data, real results, and most of all, real accountability. You see, because this is not about us. It is about every Bahamian that is watching. We believe in growing tourism. A part of our growth strategy for the economy is to boost government revenues in a bolder vision for tourism. And I hope the Minister of Cruises is listening. That we are currently making plans to ensure that both cruise passengers and stopover visitors spend money in the Bahamas. That's what we'll do under this administration. When we came to power in 1992, we made some commitments. And so again, we will restructure tourism. We will enhance our tourism infrastructure, services, and products. We will put value back in the center of tourism by restoring a clear national focus on high-value stopover visitors. We will refocus tourism policy, marketing, and investment decisions towards long-staying visitors, who we know generate more jobs, higher incomes, and stronger tax revenue for all Bahamians. Our approach is different than theirs. We will prioritize stopover growth in Grand Bahama and the Family Islands, ensuring that tourism once again creates opportunities outside of New Providence. We will support full-time employment, thriving Family Island communities, and a stronger national economy. How will we pay for it? There are countless initiatives that we're able to put in place, but let me just mention one of them. Tonight, there's at least one additional commitment I'm pleased that we could share with you. Your incoming FNM government will launch a long overdue national lottery. We will introduce a national lottery for the benefit of the people of the Bahamas. A public initiative designed to generate dedicated funding for the advancement of education, sports, youth development, and social intervention and culture. These are areas that have too often struggled for consistent and adequate resources. The National Lottery will change that by providing millions of dollars over time to support the development of our young people and the enrichment of our national identity. Importantly, the proceeds of the National Lottery will not be absorbed into the consolidated fund. Instead, they will be directed to a specially established legal structure. This fund will make sure that there's strong accountability mechanisms. This fund will be governed by a board composed in a significant way by persons who hail from the private sector. And we will make sure that civil society and professional organizations have a say in who serves on the board. And not just with this board, but other boards, we want to make sure that we do not lose talented Bahamians simply because they do not wear red. It will operate under the globally recognized principles of transparency and public access, with regular financial and operational reporting mandated by law and made available to the public under the Freedom of Information Act. And you know, as we have already stated, we will make sure it's implemented as soon as we take over. And I want to say here, because we work for you, if there are Bahamians right now who have concerns about what we are introducing, we are willing to sit and talk and listen to you. We work for you. We work for you. This lottery itself will focus on large-scale big ball draws, 5-ball and 6-ball formats, offering prizes in the hundreds of thousands of dollars and even millions. It will not compete with the small ball lotto games currently operated by current private operators, nor will it enter the online slots or sports betting space. Countries as diverse as the Dominican Republic, Curacao, St. Martin, and Ghana have shown that a well-regulated public lottery can coexist harmoniously with private operators. We will follow a similar model, and we will do so responsibly, transparently, and with the public interest always at the center of our considerations. Tonight, we are here to sign a contract with the Bahamian people. What you've heard tonight is not merely a list of promises, it is a commitment, a contract. A contract between me, a contract between this dynamic team and every Bahamian who's ready for a government that truly works for them. We work for you, not the few. What is our contract built on? It's built on listening from living rooms and porches, kitchens, on basketball courts, meeting teachers and students in classrooms, from the nurse who told me she loves this country but cannot afford to stay in it, from the father who told me he no longer feels safe letting his children play outside, from the young female entrepreneur who said she has a dream but does not believe that this country has room for it. We hear you. I hear you. This contract is for you. But I want to tell you something about this plan. Something that I'm especially proud of. It was not designed by a foreign consultant. It was not assembled behind closed doors by political insiders. The cover of this plan, this manifesto, the face of it, was created by a young Bahamian named Alan Wallace, a Bahamian artist, a Bahamian creative, living proof that the talent this country needs to tell its own story lives right here among us. It's inside, in fact, of all of us. Alan is not with us tonight, but his work is. And I want to acknowledge him by name because this is exactly the kind of Bahamian the FNM believes in and will champion. In just a moment, I want you to hear from him in his own words what he believes this moment means for the Bahamians like himself. So I just want you to pause for a moment and just watch.
Every artist remembers the moment something inside of them wakes up. For me, it was when I was just a student at C.C. Sweden Senior High. One day a man came to our school, a young leader, standing in front of a room full of students. His name was Michael Pintard. He didn't give a speech, he performed a piece of spoken word. And somehow, the room changed. You could feel it. My art teacher at the time, Miss Single, she always taught us, to paint what we felt. She wanted me to create something for him. A thank you. So I worked day and night, pouring everything I had into that painting. When I finally handed it to him, I was proud. Not just of the art, but what it represented. Years later, life have a way of bringing moments back around. Today I'm painting again, but this time, it's not just a gift. It represents a future I can be proud of. It's a manifesto that matters. Some moments inspire you, others shape your path, and sometimes they come full circle.
The incredible talent that we have in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. Before I continue, let me just say to every creative that is out there, some politicians may treat you as if you are the bridge in between the serious items on any agenda. But the truth of the matter is, the things you create, the things you share like this, is the keynote and should be the keynote on many agendas. And we are proud of every creative in this country. We love you, we appreciate you, and we would not despise what you create. And I want to say to all of the Bahamians who are listening to us tonight, the substance of this plan, the policies, the commitments, the vision for where this country goes next is rooted in something that already belongs to the Bahamian people. Vision 2040, our national development plan, built not in a politician's office, but through the voices, the input, and the aspirations of Bahamians across every island. We did not invent a plan for the people. We listened to the people, and we built their plan back to them with timelines and numbers and with an accountability mechanism in it. This manifesto is not ours. It's yours. Of the people, by the people, for the people. And under an FNM government, we will deliver it to the people. And we believe in the Bahamas where your child's future does not depend on which family you know. You can be assured that you can walk safely in your neighborhoods. That's what we're working on. We're working to make sure that the clinics in your community are staffed and medicine is on the shelf. That starting a business does not mean fighting your own government every step of the way to move the red tape out of your way. Where the wealth this nation generates stays in Bahamian hands and build Bahamian lives. And those who decide they would come and legitimately and rightly cast their lot with us, you're welcome if you're doing it the right way. That Bahamas is possible, and we are ready to build it. And so for everybody who's skeptical about the future, we are asking you to hope again and to figure out where you should be placed in making this national development project work. It's not just about us. It's about you and us working together. Hold us to this contract. Read it, share it. And when you are in government, because you will be in government, because every time we show up to an office, we are carrying your dreams and aspirations with us. And so when we are in government, you can measure every single thing we do against it. That accountability is not something we fear, it's something we invite. Because a government that works for you, a government that works with you, will not be fearing your criticism. Because at the end of the day, you have a right to call your employees into account. We work for you, not the few. Not just for the party faithful, for you. And so I want to say to you tonight that God has given us an opportunity to hit the reset button in this country, to decide that we can do better, to believe that we are enough to grow the kind of country that is a model for countries around the world. We believe in you. We want you to believe in us. And more importantly, we want you to believe in what we could do together. May God bless you, and may God bless the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
Check. Special request, righteousness of salvation. Big myself, Michael Pintar. Sing praises to the King of Kings, yes, and the Lord of Lords. They can't keep a good man down. Always keep a smile when they want you to frown. Keep the vibe and you study your ground, and they will never ever take your crown. Well, put and bless, I say no man curse. Things getting better when they thought it would be worse. Here comes classified asking for a search. Michael Pintard, and put your almighty first. Michael Pintard, solid as a rock. They can't stop Pintard now. Hey, even when they set up their traps, they just can't stop Pintard now. Praise the Most High. Evil will say this and that. They just can't stop you now. Lead the nation. Even when they set up roadblock, they just can't stop Pintard now. You see